everybody. Welcome to the new addition to the Driscoll household. We figured if our daughter was going to be stuck home indefinitely with the pandemic, we may as well get her some siblings. So this is Zebra and Snowball, and I just wanted you guys to see what we have going on here at the Driscoll Ranch. Built the bunny hut myself. Construction has never been a strong suit of mine. Carpentry, working with my hands, all stuff I'm learning. Today's video is going to feature two major components. The first is I really want to take you guys inside the boring stuff when it comes to this fitness stuff. I think oftentimes the stuff that gets posted on social media and the stuff that gets all kind of the eyeballs are the big lifts and the exciting stuff in fitness. But what I'm learning, particularly as I get older here, is that the little stuff, the foundational stuff, is even more important than the bigger stuff. Because without that little stuff, the big stuff will never happen. The purpose of this extra body work is basically to recover from recent workouts and to prepare myself for what's to come later in the day or later in the week. So you're going to see me rolling, you're going to see me stretching, you're going to see me moving in different ways, using different bands, and it's all just to let my body repair, recover, rest, and prepare for the stuff that I have coming up, because I want to be in this game for a long time. I want to be kicking butt and making it happen well into my elderly years. I also wanted to take some time in between each little movement session today to address what I think is maybe the coolest question ever directed toward me in my 15 years of teaching. I absolutely love this question because it's so simple in its wording, yet so elegant with its complexity. So what I've decided to do in making this video was simply to tie together the exact movement or stretch I was performing at the same time that I was reflecting upon the aspect of the question that I was answering. So what you're seeing is the stretch of the movement that I was doing while I was actually thinking about the answer that my voice is articulating during the time of that stretch or that mobility or movement exercise. So before we do that, I'll just give you the backstory on how the question was presented to me. I was on a Zoom chat with an amazing student who was going through the typical high school challenges as graduation was getting closer. And this senior was asking me questions about how she could overcome her challenges and different mindsets that she could take with different obstacles that were standing in her way. And we were preparing for one of our daily chats, and I sat down and fired up the computer, and the first thing she said when we got on was, "Mr. D, what are you working on?" And a student had never asked me that before, and it's super important for me that this video never comes across as me being someone who has it all figured out, because I certainly, if I were to make a video of the stuff I need to fix, the video would be infinite, just like the rest of us. So I have so much to improve on, to work on, and to be better with, and in thinking about and answering her question, I decided to break it down into kind of 5 different answers, one for each of what I call the 5 pillars of health. So without question, the most important of those categories comes in the way of relationships for me. I feel like if everything is disarray in my life and my relationships are in a good spot, I'm good to go. I can get through it all. My relationship with my wife, my relationship with my daughter, my relationship with my family and closest friends and my students, if those are locked down, it doesn't matter what comes my way, I'm good to go. If everything in my life is going perfectly, except for my relationships, I feel like my entire life is in a tumultuous state. So I feel that the most important thing that I need to put my effort and energy toward are my relationships. And one tactical way that I can do that, and that I've learned, is that I just need to spend less time on my phone, especially when I'm home. It's so easy for me to check my email real quick, scroll through Instagram here and there, look up lyrics to a song that I've been listening to and I don't quite know exactly what they're saying. And that little 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there just totally takes away from quality time that I could be spending with my family and my friends, and particularly my wife and my daughter. Another area where I have a huge amount of improvement to make is with my mindset. And I'm trying to embrace the mindset that my words actually have impacts on my thoughts. I think I always kind of thought my thoughts impacted my words, but I'm learning, and I didn't think of this on my own. I got it through reading some stuff and listening to some stuff, that the words I use actually have impacts on my thoughts, and my thoughts have impacts on my actions, and my actions impact everything in my life, right? So Jen and I, my wife, we're trying to switch from using the phrase I have to I get to, because it's so easy for me to say, oh, I have to do the dishes tonight, or oh, I have to mow the lawn, or oh, I have to pick up after my daughter. But truly, I'm so blessed that I have dishes to eat off, I have food that was in those dishes, and I have water to wash the dishes with. I get to wash dishes. I have a lawn to mow, I have a safe home, I have a working lawnmower. I get to mow the lawn. Yesterday our tax bill came in, and when I opened it up, my eyes almost popped out of my head because I could not believe how astronomically high our taxes are this year, and they've gone up like so much since last year that I thought there was something wrong with the numbers. I really did, and unfortunately that wasn't the case. The numbers are correct, but I said to my wife, Jen, I can't believe we have to pay this much in taxes, and she said to me, no, we get to pay this much. And I really got to thinking on how grateful I am to live in a town that has such an awesome school and awesome municipal workers, and it's safe. And yeah, I get to. I've lived in a developing nation in Southeast Asia where there are potholes the size of elephants, and there are electrical lines just hanging off the poles down onto the streets where you can step on them. There's some crazy
stuff. So I get to pay those taxes, even though it might not be that easy. So I'm trying to refrain from using the term I have to I get to with everything that might not be my first choice.
Another area where I think would make drastic improvements with the quality of my health is with my sleep. And sleep is this thing, I think, in our culture that has been kind of shoved to the side, and we take a lot of pride in, oh, I worked all night on this project and only slept 4 hours, and I'm so busy that I'm doing this, and I'm giving up sleep to do that. And that just is not a really well-rounded approach to accomplishing a lot and optimizing and being at our best. I explain sleep to my students kind of like our body is a cell phone, and the only way that we can recharge our cell phone is to plug it in. Well, the only way that our body can recharge, recover, and be at its best is if we sleep. So with my cell phone, I can turn down the brightness on the screen, I can turn down the volume, I can do all these things to save the battery to make it last longer, but ultimately the only thing that recharges the battery is plugging it in. Well, the only thing that recharges us is sleep. So what I need to do is prioritize the 2 or 3 hours before I go to sleep and make sure that I'm kind of landing the plane smoothly, that I'm not on devices and screens for as long as possible before I lay my head at night, that my mind is in a nice place, that my body's in a nice place as far as the things that I need to do to prepare for a good night's sleep. Maybe for some people that's a stretch, maybe for some people that's reading, maybe for some people that's a hot shower, but just being fully wired and jumping into bed and expecting to fall asleep is like an impossibility. For me, it's just a matter of making my sleep environment as conducive to getting a good night's sleep as possible, and to prepare for my night of sleep prior to getting in bed. That's huge. Nutrition, everybody's favorite topic, right? And nutrition is simply defined as what I eat, right? Or what we eat. And for me, nutrition can be this completely insanely deep rabbit hole that we can go down talking about all these different nuances of macronutrients and micronutrients and carb loading and protein and fat and all this stuff. But really, for me, it comes down to eating as many fruits, vegetables, and high quality protein as possible during the day. So instead of saying I can't have this, or I can't have that, or I shouldn't have this, or I shouldn't have that, and put a negative connotation toward it, I've kind of flipped my mindset to just have more of this and have more of that. And those mores are healthy, whole foods that are not processed foods. I'm also insanely competitive, and it's very important to me that nobody owns me except for the most important people in my life. And if I can't get through the day without having a can of Coke, the company of Coca-Cola owns me, and I hate the thought of that. For me personally, I'm just incredibly competitive. If I can't get through the day without a cup of coffee, that coffee owns me. And for me, that just can't happen. And that's just me. It's all good if that's your thing. But for me, instead of saying I can't have this or I can't have that, let's try to have more fruits, more vegetables, because if I'm eating more of that, naturally I'm going to have less of the other stuff. That's kind of how I approach nutrition, and right now I'm exercising a lot, so I'm just eating more food, and when I exercise less, I'll eat less food. And for me, exercise is all about just continuing to do what I love, whatever that is, and that changes over time. I think that the most important thing that we can do for our bodies and for our minds is to find a physical movement endeavor that we just absolutely love, that we possess passion for. It's even cooler if we share it with people that we care about, or even better than that is sharing it with people who are just learning it for the first time. Sharing our passions with others is the coolest thing. That's why I've made a career out of it. So for me, it's just finding what I love to do and doing it with relentless persistence. And it doesn't matter to me what that is. I personally love strength training and workouts, intense workouts. It's done an incredible amount of positive work in my life, but whatever it is that people love to do, I suggest they just get out and do it. Whether that is hiking or biking or getting out and doing yard work or ice skating or dancing or whatever it is that you love to do, get out and do it. This notion that we have to make time for an hour a day in the gym, I think, is crazy. Human beings were totally meant to move. We come out of the womb willing and able to move, and our Western culture kind of forces us into this sitting for 8 hours a day and then trying to make time for exercise. I think that's crazy. So for me, it's just a matter of pursuing what I love and moving in ways that make me feel good, that enhance my mind and my body, and I recommend the same for anybody else. So do what you love, share it with those who you love spending time with, and chase your passions.